out of darn control.
I don't need a 25-minute video to tell me if he's pissed because he's irrelevant now. He fell off.
Oh my god, that is savage. God, I tell you what, there's no love lost between the top streamers, is there? He blocked Jay over this. If they're going to say that. Wait until we get to the next tweet before we even read this mucho texto stuff. Like, is this person memeing or what? Like, this has got to be a joke, surely. Would sexually assault someone if given the chance is quite a large leap in logic. I can't believe that someone is this stupid. So, right, what's happened? Let me fill you in. There's a lot going on, okay? There's a lot going on. And I just want to point out, okay, not to suck myself off too much yet, but I was ahead of the curve on this one, okay? I was ahead of the curve. This was 3 days ago. 6th of February. 6th of February. We had Denims and Jay Exci, who kicked off this recent bout of drama with React content, come on stream and discuss it. And yeah, I thought it was an interesting conversation. Denims seemingly had quite a strong response on stream, but when they spoke, was a bit more chill about it, and they had actually a fairly reasonable, if somewhat, fractious at times conversation. I don't know how to put it. Okay, so where do we stand? Where do we stand on React content? What is the Chud Logic position on React content? Okay, so I'll just lay it out before I get into this, okay? Because I feel like I just want to have it on record so no one can come to me and go, oh, what? You're reacting to content? That's kind of hypocritical. It's like, look, here's the thing, right? What is Chud Nation's national policy on React, Andy? So my basic position is React Andy is fine, okay, from like a moral perspective. Just don't take the piss, I think generally is my perspective. And I'll just be clear as well. I have definitely taken the piss before in my time as a streamer, particularly, when I was probably like a smaller streamer, right? And what do I mean by don't take the piss? Well, for example, right, I think that everyone... in fact, I tweeted out about this, right? Listen, I'm telling you, as a streamer, every single streamer out there knows the difference between reacting and reacting. Yeah? In inverted commas. You can't see because I'm obviously not on camera, right? Reacting in inverted commas. So there's reacting and there's like reacting in inverted commas, okay? And everyone knows the difference between the two. Everyone knows the difference between the two, all right? So the first one is when you're watching a piece of content, okay, that maybe you've got perhaps some like contention with, right? So you're like, you're watching it, you're reacting to it, you're, pausing it regularly, you're interjecting, you're pushing back on a point that's made or disagreeing or something like that, right? The hate watch is the best React content, true. And, the thing with that as well is like sometimes that can be like a political thing that you're doing, right? That's like a political thing that you're doing. So it's like, you see a video that you're probably going to disagree with, so you watch it on stream and you're reacting to it, you're pausing it, you're responding to it, etc., 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 right? So here's the thing with that. Now, obviously, from like a DMCA perspective, like I'm not sure if like a piece of React content where you watch the entire thing is necessarily going to be like, legally permissible under copyright or something like that, right? But by the same token, I think that if it's a politics thing or it's like something you're disagreeing with, it's kind of fair enough to like watch the whole video to make sure that you're responding to it in its entirety, So yeah, I don't know. It's like it's a difficult one because I do understand that like there might be some pieces of content where like you are taking the piss, even if you're doing it that way. But like if you're responding to a political video that you disagree with, I think watching it in its entirety in order to respond to comments made and give it a fair shake in terms of the point that it's making is probably like if you want to genuinely respond to it. But I don't know. I guess there's even limits on that. Like, if you're like a million viewer Andy, and it's like some tiny political channel, I don't know. Like, there might be some lines there, perhaps that might be worth considering, might be worth looking at, right? But yeah, I think that broadly speaking, if you're adding to it, and you know, adding tangents and reacting, talking about it, and like adding your own perspectives, etc., etc. Yeah. So yeah. Yeah, maybe you disagree. Like, you know, I know that there's probably some issues with that, and the thing is like, you know, but that's my personal idea with it, right? And that's kind of how I operate with it. Yeah. So I think that like there's a point to be made for like if you do want to respond to something and you genuinely have some contention and you got some points that you want to make, that's fine. However, I do think there's the second form of reacting, which I think is pretty shitty, right? So that is when you do this, and I'll do it with my own content, okay?
And you appeal to what is legal and what isn't, because you know, ethics aren't based on the law, etiquette's not based on the law, you know, none of that. But I don't really care about what's legal in this kind of circumstance.
You get the idea, right? Imagine I've reacted for 5
about, like,
minutes.
the fact that like Hasan doesn't show,
and I'm just like, oh yeah, that you see that was yeah, it's funny.
Sometimes he doesn't show people's like username or like their Twitter, their YouTube account and stuff. And I think that's fucked up, because if you wanted to look into it,
you know, you
you're
get the
just
idea.
gonna have to hope that like
you kind of pause, or I'm like, I do this,
will,
right?
Like, post
I'm
the
like,
link in chat,
right, I'm just gonna go and get something to eat. I'll be back in a sec.
because he's not gonna do it.
And then off I go
mean?
for like 5 minutes and things. Like, do you know what I mean? Like, there's turning up to work, right? And there's putting in a good day's work, reacting or talking about things, whatever, as a streamer, right? And then there's the lazy day, which I've done. I'm not innocent in all of this, okay? I'm not innocent in all of this. I've done this before. Every streamer's done this before, where you find a video and you think, oh, I'll just react to that. I can't be bothered. I'll just react to this and just play it, basically. Yeah? So I think that, like, you know, that kind of reacting is pretty shitty, to be honest with you. And I've done it before. And listen, look, I'm only human, okay? I might well do it again. Who knows? I might well be in a situation where I'm a bit of a shitter, okay? We're only human. We all make mistakes. I can't promise that I'll never make a mistake. And, you know, I'll watch something and be like, oh, it's the end of the stream. You get a bit lazy, right? And I think that broadly speaking, like, most people are kind of okay with React content, right? It's the, as Nicholas put it, it's the freebooting. That's what really grinds people's gears. And in fact, if you watch Jay Exci's video about this, you know,
sometimes soy-facing or laughing as he plays the videos he's reacting to in full. Let's take a look at his reaction to the official compilation of the full Astuff movie series. This compilation is 14 minutes long and contains all 8 episodes of Astuff movie that were out back when it was released. The Astuff movie series represents a huge amount of work, spearheaded by the series creator Tomska, seen here with me at VidCon 2020.
So,
here's a compilation I put together of
you know,
to Chud.
Hey, Rebel1, thanks for the
Chud
sub.
is safe. He doesn't get lazy at the end of stream, he gets more racist.
Very true. So, you know, watching this video, it's pretty explicit what Jay Exci is talking about, right? I think it's pretty obvious, like, what's going on here.
Everything that Jinx says over the course of his reaction to this compilation. Are you ready? Here we go.
What? Really? Wow. What? 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 What the fuck? What the fuck? Die. What the hell? Not the buns. What the hell is this? What the fuck? This is all he got. Oh, again.
Those 33 words that it took him 15 seconds to say.
So, like, it's pretty clear what Jay Exci's trying to say here, I think, right? Like, clearly, Jay Exci's problem isn't with people that are, like, reacting to stuff. It's people who are just watching stuff and playing it. And this, do you know what's annoying about this, right? And it's no one's fault as such. You know what annoys me about this? The absolute biggest culprit of this doesn't really seem to be the center of what's going on. It's XQC. XQC is terrible for this. He is the biggest culprit of this act. And not only on stream, he uploads it onto YouTube as well and gets like, you know, 200k views. It's obscene. It's obscene. It's so frustrating. Like, you know, there was one I saw the other day, and yes, it was like a Mr. Beast video. Like, you know, I don't really care about Mr. Beast as like Mr. Beast gets so many views. I doubt Mr. Beast would care himself, right? But if you look at this, right? So this video is 8 minutes 26 long, okay? This video is 8 minutes 26 long. Right? Do you want to know how long the original video is? Do you want to know how long the original video is? The original video...
I built the world's most
is 8 minutes long. Oh. The original video is 8 minutes long. And he has uploaded a video reacting to it that is 8 minutes 26, which is basically like the old school Jinx style of just watching it and barely interjecting at any point.
Welcome to my skill replica
Watch.
of a hotel. We worked with Zach King to design this trick hotel with tons of rooms and secret hallways, but Chris instantly cracked the code by kicking down
Tom
the fake
Baker
brick wall.
rules all space and time.
Secret entrance. Oh,
Is this it?
So, thank you very much for the bit, Salvador. Appreciate you. So, listen. It's one thing to react on stream, okay? XQC is literally React to Baron. So, it's one thing to, like, react on stream. But then to upload it to YouTube, that to me is, like, a whole other level, right? Like, what has he done to turn this into its own piece of content? Nothing. Nothing at all. Nothing at all. He's just sat there and watched it and added nothing and then uploaded it on his own channel. Now, again, I don't really... Mr. Beast is a massive YouTuber. I'm not here to defend the honor of Mr. Beast. But what about situations where he's uploading videos where it's not Mr. Beast and it's not quite as big a YouTuber? And he is literally just taking views out of that person's mouth. You know? 173,000 views. That's like, what? Probably like a couple of grand ad revenue or something like that. Well, maybe not. It's only 8 minutes long. Probably like, you know, $1.50, say, right? And it's like, it's like he's done nothing and he's reaping the rewards for the laziest shit ever. Like, look at the video too. Presumably he's got an editor. Like, I'm sure the editor's just doing, you know, I'm sure the editor's just following orders, okay? But, like, all the editor's done is literally clipped it out of Twitch and then put it onto YouTube, and that's it. Like, there's no editing. It's literally just been clipped. Look, it's mental. And this added on at the end.
that was interesting.
Subscriber will punch you in the throat.
Subscribe!
Wait.
Come and order our brand new chocolate bars. They taste amazing. They're good for you.
that was
and
interesting.
subscriber will punch you in the throat.
Subscribe! Let's go!
That was interesting at the end. That's his contribution. Well, that was interesting. What is going on? It's just it's shocking to me. And the thing is like, I feel like XQC is getting an easy ride. I feel like XQC should be the center of this a bit more. People should be going harder after XQC, because not only is he watching it on stream, he's putting up, or his editor or whoever, is putting up the react when it literally is nothing. And here's the thing as well. Here's the thing as well, okay? Look at how it is as well, look. So the thing is, calling it this means that you're likely to get hits off of people that are maybe looking for this or something like that, right? So it's an intent, you know, people are going to click on this because they're going to want to watch it, say, with XQC, despite the fact he's done nothing to add to it. And you'll literally just take it, you know, it's more so, it's compounding the effect, just taking views from that original video, you know? So yeah, I don't know. The trouble is, you can't say for everyone. Like, some people genuinely might not want, you know, their content reacted to. And I think that like, I could understand that if someone is put together, like, for example, who remembers the drama with Hasan, where he was reacting to that, what is it, JCS? The guy who does the criminal interview analysis? Like, Hasan was reacting to Patreon videos of that guy. They were on Patreon, and I think his viewers had found a way to get the links, and they were sending them to Hasan, and Hasan was watching Patreon videos on stream. Like, what? Bro, that's mental. Yeah, Jim can't swim. Like, it's one thing. Listen, it's one thing where you're taking like the YouTube content that's there and barely adding anything or whatever, right? But then when you're doing it to a video that's literally paywalled for the benefit of the creator, there's also other ends where people like going super anal and shit, like EFAP making a 12-hour stream video of a 45-minute Jenny Nicholson vlog. Duma Media went on EFAP the other day, and I was taking the piss out of him because of how long they take to react to stuff. That was a good meme. Anyway, so obviously Jay Exci called out this person who I don't know if they make Jinx. I don't know if they make content anymore. But the thing is with the XQC stuff is I don't think anyone can defend that. How could anyone possibly defend the idea of him watching a video, adding nothing and uploading it to YouTube? That is completely indefensible. I don't see how anyone can defend that. I don't think anyone would, unless you're like literally a complete simp. And yeah, Nicholas, I think it was Nicholas said this. Other people probably point this out too as well. There's a reason people react to YouTube videos, okay? It's okay. And this is something Zanzi spoke about too. Hey, Litcrit Guy, thank you for the bits.
Chud Nation strong.
True. This is something that Zanzi said as well, right? The reason people react to a YouTube video and not like Lord of the Rings on stream, right? It's because like obviously there's been the DMCA scandal recently, but generally speaking, especially with movies, they're quite hot on DMCA stuff, and they've got the legal power to shaft you. Although some people disregard that anyway, but that's a whole other drama. Whereas YouTubers don't have the power or the means really to come for you. They could probably file a DMCA request, but then they'd have to be able to catch you live watching the video if they didn't want you to watch it. So I think it's the reason that people obviously react to YouTube videos and stuff like that is because they know that the creator probably isn't going to take it much further. And like a lot of YouTubers don't generally care as long as you're reacting. But like, I think that like you are if you react to content, you are kind of taking advantage of the fact that YouTubers can't come for you in a legal perspective in the same way like a movie studio would for watching Lord of the Rings. So obviously Jay goes into talking about Hasan as well in this video.
Mark, he's wildly successful, generating a huge amount of traffic and revenue. And when I found out that he'd reacted to the video where I just roast a weird house, I got pretty excited. I wasn't really familiar with any of Hasan's work, but I have really been enjoying a lot of this modern wave of reaction content. I knew that there are still some jinxes around, but I also knew that Hasan is an accomplished creator who almost certainly knows better than to oh, he left. Okay, so it actually turns out that Hasan will just fairly regularly get up and leave while other people's videos are playing. This isn't what I'm here to prove in this video, this is just a fact. This is something he does.
You could make a compilation of me sitting around, not even on camera, with a fucking video playing in the background. You could, when you're live for 13 hours a fucking day, of course there's gonna be fucking dead space in between.
But it's not the leaving in and of itself that is the issue. The same issue would be present if he was just sat there not saying anything like Jinx was.
The thing is, okay, so like I want to kind of touch on this as well, right? Because oh my god, some of the strawmen about this, it's out of darned control, okay? Some of the strawmen that I've seen on this is insane, right? Look at this. I don't know who this person is. Morgan. Every time I see someone, like we're going to get to it in the section about debate bros, right? Can we talk about the Hasan Orbiter industrial complex, please? Can we just talk about that for a second, okay? Is that a Hasan mod? No, it's surely not. No way! I didn't... No! Okay, wait. I didn't know that. There's no way! I didn't realise! There's no way! I didn't realise. But can we talk about the Hasan Orbiter industrial complex, okay? Because there's obviously like a number of creators in this space that get accused of having like orbiters and stuff, right? Or content creators... that that get like say, oh, you're orbiting this person, that person. Now, obviously, as a Sigma male Giga Chad, okay, as a MGTOW, as a content creator MGTOW, I tend not to concern myself with the orbiting memes. Okay, I just do what I want to do, yeah, all that kind of thing, right? But you know, sometimes for some reason I've been accused of like being like a Destiny orbiter. I think I've been called like a Vosh orbiter before, like a long time ago as well. But whatever, if that helps you sleep at night, you can call me that, okay? But I genuinely am not like in the orbit of anyone. I'm a memer, I'm a creamer. Yeah, yeety gal. Yeah, exactly. Anyway, but the thing is a lot of people get accused of being like a you know, like a Destiny orbiter or Vosh orbiter or whatever, right? The amount of people that like orbit Hasan is mental. It is insane. The amount of clout-hungry people that are snipping at Hasan's heels, desperate for some attention, is crazy. But apparently, oh, it's only Destiny that has like orbiters, you know. And I'm like, hang on a second. I know about. I'm not gonna, cause drama by talking about it or whatever. But I know tons of people who like, are desperate for a little bit of attention from Hasan. And I'm just like, okay, like, do you get that bag? Do whatever. It's up to you. But, like, why does no one ever talk about that? Why does no one ever talk about that? No, Wasabi, I've known about this for a while, but it's just it's a salient moment. It's a salient moment to make a salient point about it. But yeah, I just, it's crazy. And then I bring this up and I think, oh, is this like a Hasan Orbit thing? And people are like, yes, that's one of Hasan's mods. And I'm like, yeah, exactly. Saliency. We're talking about saliency. Anyway, look, I think streamers shouldn't leave their seats the entire time they're streaming and just shit and piss themselves and starve. Like, is this person memeing or what? Like, this has got to be a joke, surely. I can't believe that someone is this stupid. The same people that criticize Amazon for making workers piss in bottles are mad somebody gets up a few minutes into an 8-hour stream. What paid question? Yeah, I know. Hasan had a loop of him sitting in the chair. It's mental. I don't think anyone. Yeah, she's got to be trolling, surely. But I mean, yeah, I don't know. I mean, but the thing is like, this isn't fourth reply down. I think the pause button is right there. Is a dumb argument too. The chat is usually mad when it's paused.
Do you think that Metal Mickey was a great show?
I mean, yeah, fucking look. If Gavin McInnes can do it, no, I'm just kidding. No, what? Look, everyone understands that streamers broadcast for a long time and they might need to take a quick break. Okay. And the argument isn't that they have to sit at their desk the entire time and cannot leave. The argument is, if they do need to step away, don't use someone else's content that they've made to entertain your stream. Come up with, there's loads of things you can do. You can have like a sort of music that you get made, or ask permission for someone, or even use music that is free of DMCA. MoistCritikal Gold or another service. You can have a montage of your best bits. Be right back screen is simple. You can have a be right back screen. Or loading screen, anything. There's loads of stuff you can do. Like, no, it's so crazy that people are like unironic. I mean, I don't know, this person maybe is memeing, I don't know. But it's a very extreme simp-like behavior. Yeah, and you could even reach out to smaller creators and be like, hey, I just want to check this is okay, but I'd love to play your content in my downtime. Would that be okay with you? And the thing is as well is the thing is with this conversation too, is people are acting like, I have to, I'll play it and I'm sure they'll be fine with it. If you're a creator as big as Hasan, you could probably got some person that can reach out to people. Do you know what I mean? It's not a meme, so this is serious. You could reach out to people like, hey, I really want to react to your content. I just want to check, what you're comfortable with, what level of react. Like, can I play it to my audience, or what do you want? How can we make this work as a collaboration or something like that? But yeah, you know, if there's people like, you know, for example, I've got some music that a friend of mine made for me a long time ago. So I will just play that or something like that, you know. But yeah, I think that that's true, that the culture has an impact too. Anyway, so
and
let's
leaving
just
for
watch all
extended
this.
periods of time just goes to show that he doesn't give a shit about even pretending that he's contributing anything here. But even when he's in the room, he's no stranger to just streaming other people's content with his own face in the corner. Now, any content creator he does this to could be entirely okay with it, but I know from personal experience that he definitely doesn't bother to check. Now, this certainly isn't the only thing he does. Hell, it's not even the only kind of reaction content that he does, but it is something that he does pretty often, so let's talk.
It really is transformative, because if you're watching a video, it's a different experience from what somebody's reaction inside. But I don't think that just being sat there watching it. I mean, yeah, it's a different experience, but I don't know if it's different enough to justify, you know, this idea of like, oh yeah, it's fine then. Do you see what I mean? Like, ideally, I mean, look, here's the thing, right? Here's the thing. Yeah, it's not the bar for transformative content. Yeah, I appreciate it's different, but, you know, but that's part of the problem, right? Because if you're just watching someone else's video, right? I'm not talking about Hasan, I'm talking just broadly. If you're watching someone's video and you're not reacting to it, and then you're uploading it to YouTube, you're taking views away from that original video, which could be something which someone has put a lot of labor into, and you've just played it on stream, and you're putting it up as a separate product, and people are going to watch that one. Well, the person that's made the original content isn't going to reap the reward from the work they've done, and you're going to literally take views out of their mouth, so to speak. You know?
About it. It's also very much not just him who does this. This particular style of content, other people's, is a growing trend with plenty of popular creators taking part in it. That's why I think this is so important to talk about. There are currently huge areas of the internet where precedent is being established and reinforced that it's apparently just absolutely fine to post other people's content so long as your face or chair is in the corner as you do it.
Yeah, Jay is like living the life of Riley. Look at this bad boy. Is that one of those curved ones or something? It looks good.
Now, I don't want to be too quick to judge any of the creators that do that. All I want to do in this video is talk about what I do and don't think is okay and present my arguments as to why. And now, because Hasan is our primary example, let's take a look at the reaction he served up to some of my content. And while we're doing it, let's see how he compares to Jinx. 8,800 Blue Lick Road is a 3-bedroom house that you can go on a 3D virtual tour of
We're getting
right
meta.
now
We're
if
getting
you're
meta.
interested in purchasing it. And it's you know, they say you don't really know someone until you've held hands while taking a dump. This digital property viewing is one of those things where the longer you stare at the image, the more...
Anyway, listen, we've seen this already. I watched this. I'm double dipping. We watched this the other day. That was when Jay came into chat, and we set up that conversation with Denims when I was watching this bit, I think. Anyway, look, I just wanted to play a bit of that because the thing is, I think it's quite clear what Jay's pointing out in this video, right? Like, I don't know how anyone could, like, mistake this for being anything other than, hey, I don't mind if you react to my content, but if you do, actually react to it, and don't just fuck off for 5 minutes to jerk off or take a piss or get something to eat. You know, pause it, put something else on, put on a, be right back screen. People have taken this to mean something totally different. Like that tweet I just showed you. Where someone was like, oh, so you want streamers to literally never eat or piss whilst they're streaming? Literally no one's saying that, so I don't know what you're talking about there. But yeah, I think that, you know, what's this? Like Hasan, you know, obviously, as we know, Hasan is very good at taking fair criticism and fair critique, okay? It's wild that this is even a convo when most people love watching it, and the overwhelming majority of content creators, including myself, love when people react to whatever we make. The myth of mutually beneficial react content. I consent reactors. I consent 99.9% of content creators. It's probably worth highlighting here that I wouldn't call this consent. Sometimes they'll consent after the fact. Wait, listen, DarkViper said some wild shit about this, which we're going to get into. So let's not get into it too much, okay? But like, I don't think it's consent as we understand it. Of like, hey, is it cool if I do this? Yeah, sure. You know, it's after the fact quite often. What's a real slap in the face about this is Hasan has reacted to this person's video who started this whole thing, right? Hasan did react to Jay's video, and Jay originally said in a YouTube comment, Jay said, hey Hasan, I don't mind you reacting to my content, but please just react a bit to it and don't just walk off. I don't know if everyone's got a link to the YouTube comment. And Hasan literally fucking lost the plot and threw his toys out the pram and was like, I'm not going to react to this person's content anymore if they're going to say that. And it's like, dude, all they were saying was just like, don't be courteous. I've never seen it. Like, look, it is hard sometimes to take criticism and stuff like that, you know. But the way he just triples down on everything and just acts like a little baby is pathetic. Anyway, him and Jay got into a little slice of drama over this. So basically, Jay quote tweeted. Okay. Let's have a look. So, Jay quote tweeted and said he didn't watch it then, Lamau. And you'll notice this, which we'll come to in a sec. If you want a response to these arguments, I recommend watching the video he's mad about. These points have already been addressed and debunked. Try some new ones, dude. Here's a screenshot of his tweet. You need a screenshot of his original tweet. Doesn't show because he blocked me. He blocked me. He blocked me. He blocked Jay over this. He blocked Jay for this. Like, look, I don't really care about blocking or whatever. Like, who cares if you block someone? Often people are being obnoxious. But, like, it was literally the softest, like, it's like the softest thing I've ever seen in my life. It's like, hey, you obviously didn't watch my video. You don't understand the points I'm making. And then he blocked Jay for it. Oh my god, it's madness. You know, and yeah, this is a slap in the face. Do you think Jay is doing this at least partially for clout? I don't know Jay personally, okay? I don't know Jay personally, but I mean, clout probably plays a part in every aspect, right? I don't think you can remove yourself of that. But I do think Jay seriously is concerned with this issue. And, yeah, there's obviously, you know, the thing is listen, right to bear arms, okay? I know that you can be a bit of a simp sometimes. I get it, okay? It's fine. We've all got our flaws, all right, mate? And I appreciate there's a broader conversation going on here. But I just don't understand why someone would feel the need to block this person over, like, what is essentially just a very mild pushback on the point he's making. I'm not simping. Fuck off, chudders, before I milk those udders. Bro, I've heard the rumours, okay? I've heard about it. Okay, right, let's ask chat. Here we go. Let's ask chat. Chat, do you think there is any sort of simping going on for Hasan right now from RTBA? Yes. Yes, yes, no. We all know. Yes, probably, yes. Not enough hate. Okay. Oh, his Dosha is. I love the Dosha memes. Good fucking God, he's finally stopped talking about Dr. K. Yeah, for this stream, probably. But obviously, well, Mr. Girl's video's coming out soon, so we'll be getting back into it. Okay, anyway. We're going to get into that. Oh, my God. You're so annoying, chat. Okay. So, anyway. Hasan reacts to Reactgate. I don't really want to spend much more time on Hasan, so we're not going to watch this. But, like, Hasan's kind of responded to it, obviously. You know, the memes are out there if you want to go and check it out. Yeah, I think this is on one of his, like, billion React channels. In fact, I just want to make a comment on that, okay? I hate it when streamers make this argument of, well, I don't care if people react to my content, okay? Yeah, no fucking wonder, okay? Do you want to know what I did today? Right? I got bad night's sleep, went to the grocery store, got some groceries, came home, had something to eat. I fell asleep for a couple of hours. I woke up and I'm like, oh, I'm only talking about some drama today. I could probably piece it together as I go, so I don't need to spend loads of time preparing, right? I started up OBS, hit go live, 40-minute opener today because I needed to have a shit, all right? So I thought, just get it started now, okay? Come back, good to go, right? So listen, here's the thing. I don't give a shit if people like react to my content, obviously, or watch my content or whatever, because the what is it called? Like the sunk cost. I don't know, is that the right term? The amount of stuff I've put into it is quite. It wasn't 40 minutes. No, it's just I look. We don't need to go into it. I didn't literally spend 40 minutes on the toilet. Okay. 40-minute shitter. When you get on your phone, though, you get on your phone and you're like, oh, this is interesting. And before you know it, your legs are numb. He misspoke. Anyway, here's the thing, okay? Here's the thing. Yes, obviously, as a streamer, it's easy to say, oh, yeah, I don't care if people react to my content, take it, do whatever with it, right? Because here's the thing. Yeah, obviously, I've just made a 50 minutes worth of content, right? And the cost to me of putting into it is limited, right? I don't get me wrong, I like my content. I think I'm put out good content, but like the input I've had to do to make it is limited. I've got my equipment already. I don't need any scripts. I don't need any crew or anything like that. I don't need a script. I can literally just hit go live and I'm making content. Off you go, right? But if you're like let's look at like, I don't know, a video, a produced video. I don't know. Let's have a look. Any examples? What's like the most well-produced YouTube video you've ever seen? DK editing. Well, that's a good point, DK, because if someone ripped one of your videos and put it onto another channel, yeah, I take issue with that. A Contra video. Internet Historian, something like that. Yeah, a ContraPoint video. A MoistCritikal video. Some Vice documentaries. Anyway, you get the point I'm trying to make, right? The input that goes into one of those is much greater than streaming, yeah? With a stream, you literally just hit go live and off you go. But if you're putting up a produced piece of content that's edited with a script, etc., etc., it's different. Nation. Thank you very much, Quadzilla, for the sub. So, yeah, I just don't like this argument of, oh, well, you can use my content, it's fine. Because it's like, but you generally haven't, it's easy to say that when your input to it is literally just hitting going live and talking for a bit. You see what I mean? I'm pretty sure the We Hate Hasan Discord, Jay, was almost definitely in with Duma and EFAP people. Probably watch more Hasan and know more about his recent memes than I do, and I mod for him. Oh my god, Right to Bear Arms is showing his hand in chat. He's showing his hand, going on about some Discord. He's schizo posted about some Discord somewhere. Oh no. Time sunk applies. I've got to be careful. RTBA is a bit of a, a hound. I don't know. I've heard he's got some talents. He's like that guy from Taken. Anyway, listen. Stop the memes. Stop the steal. Okay. So we've talked a bit about this. I think. Listen. I think Jay is a pretty poggers content creator. I remember I used to watch Jay's videos loads back in the day, but nowadays I find my viewing time is limited, so I tend to just watch like Gordon Ramsay Kitchen Nightmares or something when I'm eating before I get back into the gaming. I'm a gamer. Anyway, go and check out Jay's video in full. It's a really interesting video, and I think it makes some salient points. Okay, what happened next? So this person called DarkViper, who I believe is some sort of content creator. They do speed runs, apparently. Okay. I'm not familiar with them, but they released this. Okay. all reactors are bad people. I mean, I think we're going off quite extreme straight away. I mean, I don't know about that. They exploit others to benefit no one but themselves. Collectively, they have stolen millions of dollars from actual creators and have stopped countless thousands from having a career. I mean, I don't know. Like, look, it depends. Like, this is the problem, right? This is what I take issue with this stuff. So, what does the word react mean? What does the word react mean? Well, the word react means to react. I don't know what the definition is, but like to respond to you know, you have to do something. I feel like we use the word react to refer to like anything where someone's just watching a video. There's a difference between react and like just watching a video. And I think that like this, all reactors are bad people. I mean, obviously, you know, I'm a bit biased because I do some react content. But yeah, I don't know. I think this is a bit over the top. Anyway, you think that's bad? You think that's bad? Wait until we get to the next tweet before we even read this mucho texto stuff, okay? Wait till we get to the next tweet. This is where the real juice is. Get ready for this, okay? Active response to something, respond in a particular way. Yeah, exactly. It's responding. You have to do something. Anyway, so this person says, I appreciate what you're saying, but insinuating that anybody who makes your definition of reaction content would sexually assault someone if given the chance is quite a large leap in logic. If you meet a reactor at a party, I suggest covering your glass or outright tell them you don't want them to fuck you because they seem keen to take a person's silence for consent. Whoa, bro. You gotta chill. This is a bit spicy, isn't it? Like, look, I think some people can take the piss with reacting, but there's a very big fucking difference between, you know, being a bit lazy on a stream and just kind of lazily putting a video on the background and sexually assaulting someone, okay? I think there's quite a big moral gap between those two things. All I can think is this guy must be a fan of Destiny. What with the rape analogy? That's all I can think. Is this an analogy? I don't know. I don't know if it's an analogy. That's not might be the right term. But in any case, he definitely, you know, is aware of Destiny's, you know, rhetorical tricks. Anyway, listen. He's debated Destiny before. Yeah. He sat there when Destiny's doing a rape analogy, like writing down rape analogy's good. Okay, great, got that. Okay, he's done like 5 of them, so there we go. Put a pin in that one. It is pretty crazy. It is pretty crazy. Anyway, he then went on to like somewhat defend his statement here. People who live their lives exploiting others, their labor or careers in their own lust for money and power. Who is this guy? He speaks like an anime villain or something. He speaks like a fucking anime villain. In their own lust for money and power are the very sort of people who would sexually abuse someone. A reactor's career is specifically about ignoring consent and only respecting people when profit is at risk. Wait, what's that got to do with sexual assault? What the fuck? This dude is loopy. I think he's let the discourse go to his head a little bit. I think he's let the discourse mess with his head a little bit. And then no nothing's response. No, please don't compare react content to sexual assault. I want to agree with you so badly. Aha. Whew, damn. Anyway, we'll read this. Anyway, listen. Listen, DarkViper. In reading this, I promise you I'll never sexually assault you, okay? I'm just reacting to your little thing here. There's nothing to do, you know, it's nothing to do with sexual assault, just to be clear, all right? If you ever end up somehow listening to this. I mean, it's 14 pages long. Really? Oh, why is this even a... Okay. I think that we can say there are critiques and comments you can make, okay, about this. Oh, spoiler alert too. So,
I know this.
So yeah, MoistCritikal released a video responding to this, I believe. Okay. And then DarkViper, true to form,
To put it another
released a 47-minute response video. I don't think this guy knows what brevity means. 14-page document. Someone responds to it. 47-minute response to that. Jesus. I'm not going to watch all of this. I can't. How could, otherwise I'd be here forever. I want to watch some of it, though. I just want to get the flavour of what's going on. But this is crazy. Look at this. I can't read all of this, can I? How the React Grift Works by DarkViperAU. So how does the React Grift work? A great question. I'm glad I asked it. It is actually somewhat complicated. Yeah, apparently takes you 14 pages to explain it. Jesus. Requiring a greater understanding of the content creator economy than a viewer really needs to know. God, I'm getting bored already. I've only read the first line. It is totally possible. It's totally understandable for us to not know the minute details. So I'll start with a simplified model of the online content creator marketplace. Keep in mind that reactors are not reviewers, analysts, documentarians, expert critics, or video essayists. They're people who present themselves. They are people. Okay, this I did. Pre-read a little bit. I read through some of this, but Jesus Christ. They are people who present their first experience as a video as content, doing so with no idea if they have anything of substance to contribute, as they haven't seen the content before. Okay? Listen, if some deranged rightoid releases a video promoting the idea of phrenology, and the video is titled "Phrenology is Based, Actually, a Defense of Phrenology," okay? Hey, thanks a lot. I can be fairly certain that I'm probably going to have something to say about it.
Don't assault his consent.
Thank you very much for the $1. Appreciate it. I'm pretty sure that I can look at that and go, I know there's such a thing as judging a book by its cover. But I'm pretty sure that I can look at that and go, that's probably wrong. There's probably some errors they've made there. I'm going to watch it and respond to it. So the thing is, this is the thing. The whole point of like a React video from a political perspective is that you're like reacting to it live. And the original concept was, oh, I'm such a skilled rhetorician that I can just respond to this live without having seen it before. Yeah? Now, that could be a bit cringe of a perspective. I don't really see it like that. I just like the idea that, you're kind of watching it for the first time with chat and you're responding to the points as they come up. I don't think it's about being a skilled rhetorician or anything like that. Like, I'm sorry, if you're watching a PragerU video, it's not really that skillful to be able to, like, say, oh, this is wrong and stupid, But yeah, I don't think there's anything wrong with, like, responding to a video for the first time on stream. I think it's kind of fun. I think it's part of the fun. But this is just, like, this is so overwrought. Like, this is mental. This guy, I don't know, this guy's lost the plot or something. Like, it's one thing to be like, hey, people could be a bit cringe with React, da-da-da. This guy's done a whole ass manifesto on it. 14 pages. Front to back. We're putting something they've not seen, so putting actual effort into making something after the fact once they have something of value to add. Talks about labour, which, yeah, I'm kind of on board with that. People put a lot of labour in. Space is not infinitely large. Where does reacting come in? I mean, yeah, listen, I'm sure that there's some salient points made in here. But obviously comparing it to sexual assault is a bit weird, champ. In any case...
A great question.
There's the
I'm
thing,
glad I asked
okay?
it. Such a painfully pretentious jerk. No way he has 14 pages of value worth adding.
Thank you, Revolt Rice, for the bits. If you want to read that, that's fine. So, in any case, let's see what MoistCritikal had to say, because this is where the juice comes in. Okay, let's get into it.
I know they say the Lord forgives all sins, even murder. But thanks to one man, my third eye has truly been opened to a very hard-to-swallow truth, that there's one sin so unforgivable that it sends the person straight to hell. It's React content. There is no forgiveness for React streamers. Those vile vermin that watch YouTube videos on Twitch, they're all bad people, downright evil with no exception. I remember in Star Wars they said only a Sith deals in absolutes. Well, not this time. Yesterday, a YouTuber and streamer named DarkViperAU posted a 14-page document, which is the script for a video he's working on, all about how evil React content is, and it really heats up. This gets wild and wacky for the touchdown real quick. There's a whole section in here where he basically compares reactors to sexual abuse criminals and insinuates that they'd be likely to spike your drink at a party, take silence for consent.
Moly.
Basically is comparing React content creators to rapists. Completely unironically, it's not some edgy joke or anything, it's posting cringe on main that he truly believes and defends in the comments when someone called.
Yeah. Oh yeah, I missed that bit that he says here. It is hyperbole, but only slightly so. The difference between actively ignoring consent for financial gain is not so far removed for ignoring consent for sexual gratification. It is abuse of another for a selfish purpose. I just don't think the dynamics at play are comparable. Like, it's just they're too far removed from each other. Do you know what I mean? And the thing is, he's only shot himself in the foot. He shot himself in the foot because he's, you know, I'm sure he's got some salient points. But he's just completely ruined that by cringe posting about this. And people are calling him out for it. And he's not even saying, hey, yeah, maybe I was a bit, you know, heavy on the pedal there. Maybe I put my foot down on the pedal too much. He's just going, actually, I was right. You know, I think this is correct, and elaborating on it further and just sounding more and more unhinged.
Him out for it. He really doubles down, puts his nuts on the table and says, yeah, reactors are likely to commit sexual abuse. He says it's hyperbole, but only slightly so. The difference between actively ignoring consent for financial gain is not so far removed from ignoring consent for sexual gratification.
Jesus.
In his own document, he admits that he
Jesus.
himself was a reactor. He is engaged in a lot of React content himself. So at one point, were you a rapist, DarkViper? Were you likely to commit sexual abuse? In fact, I'd argue you were on the upper echelon of React content because you were doing media.
Now, here's where, listen, I don't know much about DarkViper, but from what I can ascertain on the interwebs, I believe that this is a mischaracterization of DarkViper's content because I don't think DarkViper has ever done React content from my knowledge. I've seen, like, you know, I need a bit of guidance here, okay? I'm doing the thing he was talking about. I'm reacting for the first time without knowing if I can add value. I think we need Comrade Golden to weigh in on this. Do you know I've got a bunch of videos where I talk about Comrade Golden from like years ago? It's really funny. Okay, has anyone got any links to this? I saw people saying that MoistCritikal took an L on this one. And I think it's because there was a mischaracterization of his content. All these memes about consent. Listen, I've got no one's consent in all of this, okay? I've got no one's consent in all of this, just to be clear.
Share nights where your community donated money for you to watch videos, as opposed to just watching videos that you wanted to share with people and reacting to those. You had people pay you to do it, and then you made money on top of that from the videos you'd...
Is this true? Like, I've heard this is not true. I don't know. We'll dive into it. I don't know if I can watch all of DarkViper's response. It's 45 minutes long or something, and I don't want to get accused of sexual assault. But then also MoistCritikal responded. Like, I don't know how deep we go into this. We'll see. Okay? We'll find out.
Post from it. So you were a super reactor. Of course you don't do that anymore and you deleted all the videos, but at one point you did engage in the exact same content that you're coming out so heavily against right now, and then tried to make your own justifications for why you weren't the bad guy. It's an outrageous claim, obviously. However, he does make legitimate points in the document. It's overshadowed by this unhinged rant that he goes on. I am familiar with DarkViper's content. In fact, I was a fan of DarkViper. I'd seen his runs. I didn't really see too many of like his rant videos, but I did see his content from time to time, and he always struck me as someone pretty level-headed. In fact, recently, he made a video correcting something I talked about, which was how much money YouTubers make from short content. I got some of it wrong, and not on purpose, but I just didn't know what he knew. He was very knowledgeable in short content and made a whole video going over some very insightful stuff that was a learning experience for me and his audience. I thought it was a great video, very well done, and it was super disappointing to read something like this from him. Now, I'm called out by name multiple times throughout this document because, obviously, I do react content from time to time.
Wait, hang on a sec. I didn't realize that. He's called out by name. Oh, he's probably going to show it on screen.
I'm not ashamed of it. I'm not trying to bury it in the past and hide it, pretend like I didn't, or try and justify it, because I'm not embarrassed of it. Look, I understand the stigma around React content, and I've always understood it. When I react to something, I'm constantly trying to either pause it and add something to it or interject comedy into it. I treat React content like Mystery Science Theater, where it is a transformative piece around the content. Now, of course, not every time is going to be a hit, which is why you'll find plenty of videos where I'm reacting to something like the downfall of Quibi, which comes from a great channel that I really like to watch, and I just got too engrossed in their storytelling and the way they presented it that I didn't add anything to it. So I ended up just kind of watching it with my community. Sure. And you know what? I didn't turn that into a video. I didn't do anything else with that. Ended up just really enjoying the video as it was presented without really being able to add too much to it. And yeah, I always feel guilty when something like that happens, but that's never the goal. DarkViper's
I feel that vibe. Like, I've had it before where I've kind of watched a video and I don't really have much to add. And it does always feel a bit like I've basically just like watched their video with like, you know, a few hundred people, or like back when I had 50 viewers or whatever. Yeah, I always felt a bit bad about it because it is a bit, you know, it is a bit shitty. The new DarkViperAU response is 12 minutes long. I can't watch all of this, unfortunately. It's just too much content. Well, the Dr. K thing is an interesting point, isn't it? Because that, to me, is an example of where I felt that someone was doing something wrong. And so, you know, I wanted to dig a bit more into it. And I don't think I watched any of his videos in full on stream, but I obviously found salient moments to point out. But yeah, that's a great example of where, what if you feel that someone is doing something that's real shitty and you want to call it out? Like, sometimes the best way to find out what you're trying to find is just to kind of watch it passively, you know? There's an argument you could watch it off stream maybe or something like that. I don't know, but his simps are the ones who told you to watch the whole thing. That's true, yeah.
Entire document here is about this belief that every reactor is doing it for financial gain and to fuck small channels. And the logic he uses to make these points is deeply flawed and isn't substantiated by any real evidence. It just feels like he pulls it out of his ass and its source, trust me bro, is he has an understanding of capitalism and the free market, and that's what he's using to base all of these claims on, even though it's not directly applicable to YouTube itself. So I just wanted to go over everything here right now. So even right away, his initial tweet going for the most extreme approach.
We'll watch another 5 minutes or so, and then we'll watch like 10 minutes of DarkViper's response. And then we'll watch the responses back and forth. And if you want to watch the whole thing, obviously I'll link it. But yeah, I don't have I can't watch the whole lot, unfortunately. Otherwise, this segment will be about 1 million hours long.
Possible. All reactors are bad people, exploit others to benefit no one but themselves, collectively stolen millions of dollars from actual creators, and have stopped countless thousands from having a career. I wonder how many small channels are out there shaking their fist right now like, damn you, Pokimane, my channel died because you watched my video on your stream and said nice things about me. I had such a promising career as a YouTuber till you said nice things about my video on stream to your audience of 30,000 concurrent viewers.
Oh, I'll watch Jasmine Gold clip after I've got through all this then. That'll be interesting as well. This narrative that like tiny channels are dying, I just don't think that's true. I think there's an issue that needs to be addressed, and I think that it's you know, there's problems. CoffeeZilla had a really good thread about this, which we'll look at as well. But this idea that these small channels are dying out because Twitch streamers are watching their content, I just don't think that's true. I think that's mental. Like, if your channel is dying and you're getting like attention from big streamers, like I just don't understand how your channel would be dying because of that. There'd be another reason, you know? You're ethically, yeah, I agree with Lycan there. You make it well known to your audience whose video you're watching if you're not watching a well-established person's content. Yeah, for sure. I think if you're watching like a massive creator that's bigger than you, I think everyone knows who it is, more or less, right? And it's like, I don't know. I find it hard to believe that you'd be watching someone that's got loads of subs and like, you know, you're not like doing enough to promote them or something like that. But if it's a small creator, then yeah, you should really, you know, more. I mean, I think broadly you should do it anyway. But you should shield the hell out of them. But this is where the other problem comes in as well, right? Because what if it is someone you disagree with? You know? So that video there I've just debunked was from LollyLover69, talking about how age of consent is wrong. Obviously I disagree, but I just like to shout their channel out in order to, you know, meet my ethical obligation. Go and check their stuff out. Even, but bear in mind, I disagree heavily with everything they say. Like, do you do that? It feels a bit weird to do that, you know? Like, I guess you just not watch it at all then, or something. It's hard to say, but like, I just couldn't see myself doing that. Videos in which criticism is the main subject are more than likely to be more transformative by nature than someone simply reacting to it. That's true, Kobe, but then the problem becomes, it depends whether you're looking at it from an ethical standpoint or a legal standpoint. And I think most of this is more about ethical stuff, because a lot of creators don't care about the MCA, it's more so, or copyright. They're more so about the ethics of it or whatever. But in terms of copyright, if you watch an entire piece of media, even if you're criticizing it, that wouldn't necessarily mean it's fair use. And that's why I think for this conversation, it doesn't, like, when it comes to movies and stuff like that, it makes sense to have the conversation around legality and DMCA, etc., because that is the risk. The risk of that is that big film studios start to get wind of it and start to hammer Twitch, and then Twitch have to put in place tools that fuck all of us over, right? That's a different issue to React in general, where it's not about the risk of that happening. It's more about the ethics and consideration and courtesy to other creators, you know? So, yeah. So, yeah, I don't know. Then you're promoting a shitty creator, so people who hate that shit can claim your platform shitty opinions. That's how the circle closes.
Now I'm fucking trashed. I'm ruined. And to be fair, that's not the exact point he's making. His point of how they're killing small channels is because they're taking eyes away from small channels to their own channel. So I guess a more apt comparison would be a small channel fucking flipping over their table like, fuck, I would have had 10 million views on this video if Pokimane didn't react to Jubilee, 6 atheists versus 1 Christian on 5 days ago. Now my channel's fucked because she reacted and all the people went and watched that instead of watching my video essay on Dying Light's butthole physics. Now to show his point in the actual document, he goes on to describe how effortless it is to make React content, which he is absolutely in the right on. This is an inarguable truth. It takes significantly less time and effort to react to content than it does to create the content that's being reacted to. That's just blasting your ass.
So, look, this is something that I think is just sent to me that I think is worth pointing out as well. So you got this here. So look, critical stream highlights unofficial. MoistCritikal reacts to Socks 1 for lies, blackmails, and $15,000 scams. And it's an unofficial channel, sure. But this has got like 350,000 views. And then the original video has got 32,000 views. And this is Willie Mac Show official channel and whatnot.
I've always... It's over
like,
4 million...
You know, and it's like... That's kind of messed up, right? Hey, Stardust, how's it going? I hope you're doing well. Like, that's kind of messed up. Like, and this is just an unofficial channel as well, which in some ways, like, it's not MoistCritikal fault per se, but in some ways it makes it worse, because it's just some random person that's uploaded this. You know. And this channel, which is an unofficial, like, stream highlight channel, has got more subs as well. And it's got the original video in there, but, yeah, I don't know. Maybe there's an argument there, but it's like, it's wild that this has got literally 10 times the views. And I think this is the kind of thing that people are sort of frustrated with. I don't, you know, I'm not saying, like, you know, ball accounts, Willie Mac Show is cool with Critical, but, like, it's still, you look at it and you just think there's something not right there, you know? Do you know what I mean? But the thing is, like... Okay, one thing you need to understand, and I don't like to, like, implement the legal perspective of it, right? I'm trying to keep it more on the ethics side, okay? But I think there's something in this which is worth considering, taking it out of the legal framework even, right? So one aspect of fair use, okay, when they're assessing whether something is fair use, one of the 4 factors is whether or not the new work took, you know, financial potential from the original work, right? So, as an example, if I upload Lord of the Rings onto my YouTube channel in full, right, and I'm just watching it, but it just plays in full, they could make an argument that that is going to, you know, cause financial harm to the original work because it's taking views away from it, right? So the same thing could apply here, if not from a legal framework, but certainly from the idea that even if it's got enough reaction to it, if you're including the entirety of the piece of content to the level where people are going to not go and watch the original video because they've already seen it here, yeah, I think that's a valid point. And, you know, if it's like, I'm not so concerned if it's a much bigger creator that you're reacting to, but if it's vice versa, and it's that you're reacting to a smaller creator and you're reaping the rewards and the benefits from doing so, yeah, I think that that's kind of fucked up in some ways. Well, it's not, I'm not defending big business. It's the other way around. If you're someone that's got 50k subs and someone with 1 million subs reacts to your video and puts it on their channel and you get like a bunch of views off of it and it doesn't really follow through to the original video, you know, that's like ad revenue that really should be going to the original video if you've got the entirety of video in there, you know, or there should be some sort of agreement or something. I don't know exactly what it would be, but like, it seems a bit unfair to me that the person that originally made the video and put it together is getting so heavily like stripped of potential views, possibly, like, where there could be another thing where you don't react to the whole thing, but you just react to like a portion of it, and you've got your content, you're like, you know, I've reacted to a bit of this, or maybe you do watch it on stream, but then you clip like the best moments from your coverage, and then it gives people an impetus to go and watch the original video. Like, I think that there's more you can do there to push traffic towards the original video, even if you want to react to it or talk about it, you know? Like, think of a movie review. A movie review is a great example of that, where you're reviewing the movie, you're going to have clips from the movie in your review. Content ID can be a bit fucky with it, but broadly speaking, you know, that's acceptable from a perspective of fair use or whatever. But then the impetus, then people will go and watch the movie potentially off the back of it, you know? But yeah. The other thing you can do is, yeah, you can just ask. And maybe there was permission here, I don't know, but, you know, the nature of it. But it's just to, you know, just to highlight the potential issues with this sort of thing, you know? But the best practice is literally just to email or message the creator and say, hey, I want to react to one of your videos. You know, are you comfortable with that? Are you happy for me to upload it to YouTube? Like, what are you comfortable with, you know? Because, yeah, I don't know. For me, the only thing I say generally is, like, I don't like people reacting to my stuff when I'm live, because I think, well, why are they watching it through you? Just send them to me. Just raid me if you're going to sit and watch my content for an hour, if you're like a bigger streamer. But if someone asks, generally I'll be like, yeah, that's fine. I don't mind, you know? Or if it's someone whose content I've used in the past, I'm not that bothered, you know? But I think that's the one thing with live content, is like live viewers is a kind of a big deal, you know? But the point is there's some sort of conversation that can be had. It doesn't have to be like, you know, either react to the content, upload it to YouTube, fully take the mick with it, or don't do it at all. Have a more collaborative approach with people, you know? I don't know. It can be difficult if you're a small streamer. But then again, if you're a small streamer, like, I don't think it's that big a deal if you're like a 10-viewer Andy. But I think, you know, if you're bigger and you want to... I think it's if you want to watch someone's video in full, that's when you probably want to go and get some form of like, hey, I want to watch your video in full on stream. You know, I might not have much to say about it, but I just find it an interesting video. Is that okay? And then they'll say, you know, yes or no. But if you're like reacting to something and pushing back on ideas in it, or like you've got a lot to say but it's critical, maybe that isn't quite as necessary. But I think if you just want to play something on your stream without maybe interjecting much, it probably is worth asking permission. I don't know. Who knows? Who knows what the correct answer is? Will I commit to doing this? Yeah, I think so. I think I can commit to, like, I try to avoid just fully watching a video and not really saying anything from people. You know, I try to avoid it because it just is kind of lazy content. I've done it before. But yeah. As soon as you go into I can live with this territory, it's a bit iffy, right? Yeah. And the other thing as well is, like, if your entire shtick is just reacting to other people, right? That's a bit cringe. If that's all you really do with your content. I don't know, it's a bit, like, scummy, bit lazy, bit, you know. It's one thing to have the odd lazy day in the office, but when it's every single day, you're just reacting to other people's content and half saying shit. Yeah, I don't know.
Facts and logic 100%. Even when you're transforming the content, like, you know, for example, if I'm adding an extra 10 minutes worth of dialogue or even 20 minutes worth of, like, extra commentary on top of it, that's still significantly less work than actually went into that video that creates it, and he's totally right there.
Relevant shots fired. Wait, that's not aimed at Irrelevant. Whenever I watch Irrelevant's content, like, he's a pause Andy. I'm not talking about Irrelevant when I say that. Saying that for the clip. Irrelevant hasn't even crossed my mind in all of this.
He then goes on to say how easy it is to pump out that
drama.
content, since it obviously takes less time and effort. They can make more of it, which means more React videos are being pumped into the YouTube atmosphere. And he's right there again. Look at someone like Sniper Wolf. She's able to do one a day, and she's making, I think, 700 million views a month or something. She is the biggest React channel online, like anywhere on the internet. And what's shocking about DarkViper's document is she's not listed here by name. He only goes with Twitch streamers, even though Sniper Wolf does the same thing. So I found that.
Okay. This is something, yeah. There's a lot of, like, clout games that are involved here. There's a lot of clout games involved, and this comes up in the debate bro stuff as well, which we're going to get to after this, right? And I don't know if it's always intentional, and sometimes, if your whole shtick is having genuine original conversation with people and mostly ignoring your chat, usually not good for business either. Yeah, there's, like, a level of, like, calling out certain people, not calling out certain people, stuff like that. Maybe there's a degree of that happening. I just find it shocking that, like, to me, the worst culprit is XQC, and I don't really see many people, like, talking about XQC. Like, maybe I've missed it and it's in the document and I didn't see it because I'm not reading through 14 pages of that stuff. But yeah, XQC is, like, hands the worst ever in the whole React space, and I wonder why people aren't talking about him more. Where's Bad Bunny? Well, Bad Bunny isn't, like, particularly relevant, I don't think, in this conversation, is she? The worst culprits have exclusive Twitch deals to watch YouTube content. Bad Bunny... I think Bad Bunny's little transphobia controversy had a little impact on the old viewers, from what I could see. I saw the other day she was, like, streaming to 200 people, and it was like, ooh. Well, there we go. It's because XQC just owns it. He doesn't fight like Hasan does. Do you think that's what it is? Well, okay, but, like, just because someone owns up to it doesn't make it better, right? Like, if someone murdered someone and was like, well, hey, I did the murder, you're not going to be like, well, that's all right then, you little scamp, off you go. I know she was sheep in the box. I agree. She was hella transphobic. It was crazy. Like, in a desperation to hate on white people and men, she was just transphobic, and then she got called out for it. And then she had to do this weird stream where she was, like, penance for her sins. It was weird as fuck. God, glad I don't have to do any of that shit. Old habits die hard. I don't want to get sidetracked. I watched some of the hearing, the legal hearing on the transphobia. It was just kind of cringe. I'd recommend checking it out though, if you are into pain, physical pain. You're doing the wrong thing. Maybe we need to set that up. Maybe when I'm racist, a person of color needs to come on and tell me that I was wrong. Something like that.
To be weird, because that would have been another great point here, but regardless, her absence isn't that big of a deal. It just serves to highlight that he is...
What's this? XQC react harder.
Yellow end. Okay. Wow, that's water shit! Coral reef! Coral reef! Okay. Wow, that's a lot of water. Shit, that's blue. Oh my god, what is that, a volcano? That's nuts!
I doubt he would put that onto YouTube anyway. BBC are like notoriously, like BBC have got content ID up to the Swanee on YouTube. You put up like a second of BBC content and they're fucking all over it. Boom! We're taking the ad revenue from your video. You played half a second of a 20-year-old TV show. We're taking your ad revenue, bitch.
Shit! Trees and grasses and whatnot. Golly!
Hey, Dylan, how's it going?
Oh my god, it came to the ground. Crabs! Yo, is that a crab, dude?
Is this him memeing on it?
Oh my... Yellow end.
Is this him memeing on it? Is he being, oh, people are telling me to react harder? Fucking hell. Listen. There's some content, like, there's just no relevance to react to it. I don't think. Like, you know, how would you react to some sort of nature documentary? Like, it's part and parcel there. What are you going to say about it? It's like, oh yeah, this looks nice.
Isn't BBC content not allowed on YouTube because it's porn?
Thank you very much for the bits. Appreciate that. I won't be responding to racial comments.
AU.
I appreciate your content while I attend university.
It's just this simple, chat. We don't need to watch a video on this. This is why he's pissed. This is why he's pissed.
Ooh.
It's just that simple. I don't need a 25-minute video to tell me he's pissed because he's irrelevant now. He fell off.
Oh my god, that is savage. God. I tell you what, there's no love lost between the top streamers, is there? Whew.
You at 4K doing something, and you fell off hard.
Damn. Savage. He just got straight up savaged.
You had something going, bada boom, bada bing. I don't know, maybe you didn't move to Austin, Texas. Viper.
Jesus, that is savage. Okay, right. Actually, yeah. That is something that's interesting because you've got to think, why is DarkViper going so hard with especially talking about the sexual assault stuff as well? Jesus, yeah, he really has fell off. Fucking hell. Scary. Jesus. Yikes. I wonder what happened. Who is DarkViper? Good question. Good question. That could be why he's going. I mean, he's at 1307 for January. Okay, here we go. So when did he release his little manifesto? When did he release his little manifesto? Let's have a look at that. Let's have a little Billy Butchers at that, shall we? Interesting. February 7th. So we released it on February 7th. And then we've got this stream. I mean, this is just like a gaming stream. It only lasted for like, what? A couple of, like, 20 minutes or so. 489-624, But then he's got this stream here, just chatting. Presumably it's him talking about this drama. So I wonder if one of the because I was looking at it and you think, why is he, like, it's one thing to criticize React streamers, but why is he talking about sexual assault and shit like that? Well, if your viewers, I mean, he's got another one here from the 31st of January, 2,000 views, but it seems like his gaming content isn't picking up much interest, or as much as his just chatting stuff. I wonder what happened here. Was there something that happened here? I don't know. How is it terrible analysis? What do you mean? How is it terrible analysis? How am I'm just thinking about things. Why not? I just think it's not out of the equation that he's gone so heavy on the memes because he wants to get a little bit of attention. I don't think that is that crazy to think about. I don't think that's terrible analysis. I think that that's a fairly, reasonable thought to have. Obviously, we can't tell what his motives are specifically, but it's just interesting how, apart from this stream here, this seems to have got himself a lot of attention that he seems to be, well, he probably is craving. I don't think it's terrible analysis. I think I will infer what I want. Anyway, something to think about when we watch the rest of the content. Let's continue. I'm sorry, but if you look, I'm a streamer, okay? I'm a streamer, and I've had moments. I mean, it seems ridiculous now, but I was at 70 viewers, and I dropped 1 month to 50 viewers, and I was like, oh no, what am I doing wrong, and stuff like that, right? And you do have that thought in the back of your mind. But I've always just been a Sigma grind set type person, and I've just sort of cracked on with Pedro's just being... Listen, Pedro's just a troll sometimes, okay? Don't worry about Pedro. I wasn't being racist enough. I've tended to just Sigma grind set it out. I don't like the idea of doing... obviously I want to get attention, but I don't want to be beggy. I don't want to be like, hey, look at me, everyone. Yeah, reacting to content is just like rape. Come and watch my channel. That's a bit cringe. I'd rather just be consistent and put out what I think is good content and see what happens, right? But I don't think it's out of the equation that this DarkViper guy... why is it that he's being so extreme with it? Explain that to me. Why is it he's being so... There's no need for this. This is mental. This is fucking attention shit. It's got to be. Exactly. And, it's just... It's the way it is. But, I don't think it's that ridiculous to think that, yeah, he's got... Well, he's certainly got what he needed, it would seem. Dog whistle? What do you mean? Anyway, let's continue on.
Right, you can pump this out a lot quicker than fully original products. But the next part is where him and I differ greatly in our opinion here, and it is an opinion no matter how much DarkViper wants to present it as a fact. He argues that this flood of React content takes from the finite pool of impressions, so it takes those eyeballs and puts it towards the React content as opposed to going towards the original content that they would have found
elsewhere.
Listen,
look, I'm friends with a guy. Mindwaves? Hello? Mindwaves? Hello? Mindwaves? I mean, since Mindwaves has been back streaming, he's done 2 tweets. He's come back swinging. The lad's come back swinging. Respect the hustle. Respect the hustle, okay? That's the nature of the beast. And, I've probably done it in some way sometimes. I don't know. I don't know. But you can already find an example of me doing something to... But the thing is it's difficult to tell whether someone intends to do it or it's just an in-the-moment thing or something like that. But yeah. I genuinely don't think there's ever been a time where I've said or done something where I'm like, I'm doing this because it's going to get me attention. Mr. Girl and Mindwaves stream Discourse in the last 3 months. Mindwaves intends to do it. Yeah, I think Mindwaves doesn't intend to do it. But does it make a difference whether you intend to or not, I guess? Maybe in some way. I don't know. That's a whole other thing. Well, that's the thing, Mr. Merritt, is I was thinking, what about the N-word tweet? Well, when I did that meme, I was just expecting it to be a stream thing. I thought that when I'd said it, I wonder if anyone would clip that or something, but kind of moved on. And then it got put on LSF, and it was like, well, okay. Obviously, it was good for my channel, but it wasn't that I said it because I thought, I'm going to say this joke, and then it's going to go on LSF. It did. It got 100,000 views across Twitter and Twitch, I think. Crazy. Just a silly little throwaway meme. People thought it was really funny. I mean, it was funny, but Jesus. Anyway.
Where if the React content didn't exist. I'm skipping ahead just a bit because this part is also still part of the same umbrella claim. He says, if your content is good, then it will get exposure naturally, and so you don't need reactors. He's absolutely right, of course you don't need reactors, but he says if your content is good, it will naturally get exposure. Okay, based on what?
Thanks,
Where's your
Stardust.
evidence to support that claim? There are millions upon millions of channels, literally millions, that have made high-quality productions over the last decade.
Can I call you slurs again? Is that okay?
That went nowhere, fell flat on their face, have less than hundreds of views. I know that because we've watched them on my stream before. I usually like to find more obscure content, and I've seen some great videos, huge production, less than 100 views, like 5 years old, the channel's dead now. And it had nothing to do with XQC watching my mom picks my next boyfriend for me or anything. It just has to do with the sheer volume of content on YouTube in general, where not all great productions are gonna find eyeballs.
Anyway, look, I feel like we've seen enough of that. I'm sure you know who this guy is. This has got like 1 million views, but I'm not gonna, you know, it's too much. It's too much content, if anything. Okay, I want to wrap this up in the next 20 minutes or so. So let's just watch a little bit of this.
To put it another way, Charlie has not come close even once to talking about what I actually said in the document. There is no flattering explanation that I could possibly give for that. Let's play a game. Let's see how many of these words are actually in this document. Sexual, no. How about abuse? Oh, we got report abuse at the top here. How about criminal? No. How about predator? No, not that either. How about rapist? No.
Oh, come on. That's so dishonest. That's so dishonest. Like, it's clear what you were trying to say.
It's almost like Charlie is making
hey,
shit up,
Curious,
and
how's
I
it going?
don't understand why.
Yeah, of course.
My point was,
Sounds
consent
good.
matters, and the idea of asking consent after
Another
you've
20
already
minutes,
done
I'll
the
be
thing
done.
is clearly not good. What annoys me most about Critical's video is not that he disagrees with me, is that he doesn't even understand what the document said. So MoistCritikal has made a response video to something that people think is involved with me somehow. I don't know what he's responding to here, but I did write a 14-page script explaining why I don't like reactors and I think they're bad people. Whatever he's looking at here isn't that, because basically nothing of what he talks about in this video do I talk about in that script. That is a little bit of an exaggeration, but I'm
okay, I need to understand what I'm missing here. Like, obviously, you know, maybe I need to look a bit more at this, but people were saying that MoistCritikal took massive L's on this one. Was it just that he said some wrong information about DarkViper? Because this here, like, you know, DarkViper is being pretty, like, disingenuous when he's talking, because it's like, yeah, obviously you were it's quite clear what you were implying. I don't know.
I'm somewhat at a disadvantage now. Because Charlie has made a response video to an unreleased YouTube video, my best response would be to just make the video. Because anyone who watched it would understand all the things that Charlie didn't understand.
Well, you released... listen, this DarkViper guy is kind of cringe. I'm going to be honest, okay? I don't like this guy. I get the vibes I'm getting. Maybe I'm getting a bit biased on this. But, like, bro, you released the whole ass fucking script, buddy. Like, what? He's acting like, oh, you reacted to an unreleased YouTube video. Yeah, you put some content out on the internet, bro. What do you expect?
When he might have read the script, I'm not 100% sure. But I don't have time for that. It's a 14-page document, and I am being defamed by this man. MoistCritikal knows that his video is going to reach far more people than will ever actually read that document. So he has free reign to misrepresent what's in it to 99.99999% of people. He didn't even have the courtesy to link the document so people could fact check him. He could legitimately just say, well, DarkViper's out here saying that I fucked the Loch Ness Monster. I didn't fuck the
I agree with that. He should have put the link to the document in there. I agree with that part, at least.
Loch Ness Monster. People are like, wow, this DarkViper claiming that MoistCritikal fucked the Loch Ness Monster? Shameful. He also knows that my video, refuting him, will also reach one fraction of a percent of people who watch his video. This is the power that large content creators have to shape a narrative, regardless of how false.
And it really heats up. This gets wild and wacky for the touchdown real quick. There's a whole section in here where he basically compares reactors to sexual abuse criminals and insinuates that they'd be likely to spike your drink at a party, take silence for consent. Basically is comparing React content creators to rapists.
This is on page 8 of 14, and is an offhand remark, in brackets. This is Charlie's attempt to poison the well. Hey guys, I'm gonna take this thing entirely out of context to present it as something that it clearly is not, in order to poison you against—
Well, no, I'm sorry, buddy, but, like, you put that in there. Like, you, obviously, you've got to, you know, like, you decided to put this reference in there and you're getting called out for it. Like, what? I don't get this. Like, don't put it in there at all then. Oh, it was in page 8. Well, don't put it in there at all. If it's an offhand comment, don't put it in there at all. Obviously, you're going to get hammered for this because comparing React content to sexual assault is very egregious and bad. Like, I don't get this defense. Don't put it in then if it's a throwaway comment and it's that silly. Jesus. God, I feel like, you know, because I've been told, I feel like I'm missing something. I feel like I'm missing something here because I've been told that you know, Charlie took a bunch of L's on this, and I'm just like, I'm watching this like, well, this guy is like, I don't know. He wants it both ways. He wants the spicy, oh yeah, it's just like sexual assault kind of memes, right? Or, you know, they're the kind of person that would commit that sort of offense. But then when he gets criticized for it, he goes, "Oh, come on, it was on page 8. It was just a meme. It's just a meme defense." Fucking hell. Jesus.
It's a 14-page meticulously written document. What the hell, Charlie? I didn't have the highest opinion of you, but what the hell is this? He is so keen to poison you against this 14-page, meticulously argued document that he goes to the length of finding tweets out of context. He doesn't show the context. And it's just like, here's what the document's about. It's 14 pages! Reactors will frequently say they have the right to steal as much of a person's labor as they like until that person says no. If you work 10 minutes, 10 hours, 10 weeks, 10 years, it doesn't matter, they have a right to your content. It is only after you find out that your opinion is apparently meant to matter. This is of course analogous to any situation where you ignore consent for your own gain. I did not at any point say reactors are rapists. I said it is analogous to situations where you would ignore consent for your own gain.
No, you didn't! You said that they're the kind of, you should cover your drinks around them. Because they're the kind of person that would do that. Jesus. God, this guy's just super dishonest about his own document. Look, I came into this without knowing who this guy was. But the more I hear him talk and the more I hear him go on about this, I'm just like, I don't know. Like, he gives me bad vibes. And now he's misrepresenting his own document. Look, if you meet a reactor at a party, I suggest covering your glass or outright tell them you don't want them to fuck you because they seem keen to take a person's silence for consent. What? Yeah, we'll watch Charlie's response video, I guess. Maybe it goes into it. But like, what did he just say? Let's go back and listen again.
Until that person says no. If you work 10 minutes, 10 hours, 10 weeks, 10 years, it doesn't matter, they have a right to your content. It is only after you find out that your opinion is apparently meant to matter. This is of course analogous to any situation where you ignore consent for your own gain. I did not at any point say reactors are rapists. I said it is analogous to situations where you would ignore consent for your own gain.
I mean, this isn't just saying it's analogous. But no, it goes beyond just saying it's analogous. If you meet a reactor at a party, I suggest covering your glass or outright tell them you don't want them to fuck you because they seem keen to take a person's silence for consent. This isn't just this goes beyond just being an analogy. Nah, this is bullshit. I'm not arguing with Dario. Listen, I've not even fucking got you in voice. I'm not going to, by the way. I've not even got you in voice, and you're already giving me a fucking headache, okay? No, you can't. You can fuck off. No, I don't want you to explain because you're going to ruin the flow of this segment, okay? I'm not interested. No, go away.
The idea that it's okay to ask for consent after the fact is obviously a very stupid idea. However, this is one that reactors will constantly say. As for taking silence for consent, that is literally what reactors do. A person has not given you consent to re-upload their content, and you say, well, they haven't said no yet, so I must have consent. To again clarify, if you read them in context, they're clearly analogies that are used to explain two things to make something more clear. That being, the idea of asking for consent after you perform the action is obviously absurd.
In his own document, he admits that he himself was a reactor. He is engaged in a lot of React content himself.
So this is where the L's come in, I guess.
Were you a rapist, DarkViper?
I of course did not call myself a reactor. In fact, I defined reactor very specifically in the first paragraph, which of course Critical does not show, because it would...
Sure, okay, listen, obviously, look, I'm not saying that the point I'm making is I just feel like the way he's worded it, he's opened himself up to be criticized along those lines. And if he didn't want to, you know, don't put it in there then. Say something else. Like, you know, I'm sorry, but I just think it's pretty egregious to put something like that hyperbolic in, and then be like, oh well, you know, I was only using an analogy. No, bro, you were being super hyperbolic and you got called out for it.
Undercut this point massively. We'll see that later on. I was talking about a very specific form of content of which I've never made.
Jay Exci's video is way better. Jay Exci's yeah, okay, listen, Dario, you're really starting to piss me off now, okay? Look, hyperbole is fine, okay? But if you put something hyperbolic out and someone responds to it and says, yeah, this is fucking ridiculous, don't give me the, oh, it was only an analogy, da-da. No, you're being hyperbolic as fuck. Okay? In a document for some fucking video you're doing, okay? Jay Exci's video is way better than whatever this fucking document is, okay?
I also, quite obviously, didn't refer to reactors as rapists. The common theme in this video is
no, that
Charlie
is
going to be
true,
like,
sure.
I'm not going to show you where he said this, but I swear he said it. And I'm going to be like, I didn't say that. And that's all the defense I can give myself, because it's not in the script. This is generally speaking why you let a person make a video first, Charlie, rather than handpicking parts from a script to be dishonest.
Of course.
Wait a second, though. What obligation has he got to wait for a video? Like, what is there? All reactors are bad people. They exploit others, benefit themselves. Collectively, they have stolen millions. I have found that it will take longer than a week to complete, but the video script is annoying me by not being out in the wild. While it will be read by a few, that will have to suffice until I have time to make it a video. Sorry, is there some sort of rule now? Is there some sort of rule that, oh, if you put something out there, we're not allowed to talk, you know, oh, we need to wait till you make the video. Anyway, if you made the fucking video and someone reacted to it, you'd be complaining about it anyway, because you don't like React content. What does this guy want? Does he just want to be able to put stuff out and no one talks about it? No one fucking says anything about it? Like, no one's allowed to even mention it. Like, I don't get what he wants then. You put a script out, people are going to read it, and if they don't like it, they're going to criticize it. And if you make a video and someone reacts to it, well, I don't know. I guess he would be okay with someone just like making a response video or something then. I don't know. God. Mental. Also, hang on a sec. Does he mention... the exploiter class? Hang on a second. Hang on a fucking quick second. He mentions him by name in the document. He mentions him by name and then he's complaining that he's responding. Jesus, what a fucking idiot. This is mental. He literally calls him out by name. He calls him, look. He says, creating content takes time, energy, and creativity. If you do it all yourself, you'll quickly get tired, burn out, run out of ideas. The exploiter class. I mean, to be fair, he calls it XQC, so points for that. Hasan, Pokemon MoistCritikal, Hasan, XQC, will use his unpaid labour to avoid the expense and therefore draw on the maximum viewers from revenue and actual creators. Perhaps you've seen reactors say... a multi-million-dollar companies generate most companies in the world. Yeah, I think if you call someone out by name in some fucking scripture writing and you put it out publicly, expect the person to respond to it. I don't think if you call someone the exploiter class and you put it in your little document, what they got? Oh, I'll just wait till the video comes out. Come on, bro. God, this guy's a bit cringe, isn't he? I'm trying to be unbiased in this, but it's like, I feel like he's kind of got a very high expectation of what other people should do.
Of course you don't do that anymore and you deleted all the videos, but at one point you did engage in the exact same content that you're coming out so heavily against right now.
In the document, I expressly outline in intricate detail why that is not the case. But even if that was true, all it would do is make me a hypocrite. It wouldn't make anything I say untrue. It does not even for a moment actually attack my arguments that I put forth in the document. It is whataboutism. Charlie has done everything to avoid the actual content of what I talked about. This is an addendum on page 14 that he's talking about first.
It's an outrageous claim, obviously. However, he does make legitimate points in the document. It's overshadowed by this unhinged rant that he goes on.
Keep in mind, he's talking about a bracketed sentence on page 8 of a text document and calling it an unhinged rant. Even if you don't like me, can you grant that he's not being fair?
He made a video correcting something I talked about, which was how much money YouTubers make from short content.
Not only did I correct MoistCritikal, but Ludwig also made a video correcting him. And what was really annoying is MoistCritikal left that video up. His entire video that I corrected is wrong. As Moist will now admit, but he left it up anyway. 1.3 million people did MoistCritikal give false information to, and he did not give 2 fucks. Did not take the video down, did not submit a retraction, did not give people actual information. No, he, in the original case, made a 10-minute video rambling about stuff that is completely untrue. When shown that it's untrue, didn't give a fuck.
Obviously, I do react content from time to time, 100%. I'm not ashamed of it. I'm not trying to bury it in the past and hide it, pretend like I didn't, or try and justify
Not yet. We'll get to that.
it, because I'm not embarrassed of it.
That's not something to brag about. It is something you should be ashamed of. You have a staggering amount of money, which you could use to pay people to make content for you, but instead you just take it for free from people you don't even ask.
When I react to something, I'm constantly trying to either pause it and add something to it or interject comedy into it. I treat react content like Mystery Science Theater.
Listen, if you want to go and watch that in full, by all means do. I want to get to this. This is the problem with this kind of content, is you get into this like cycle. So now MoistCritikal responded, and then DarkViper responded again. So let's
I've seen some great videos.
Let's have a look at that. So drama response 19 hours ago. And when did this person respond? Hi Charlie, nice to meet you. Okay, well let's watch a bit more of this, okay?
Today's breakfast of champions that I'll be feasting on is some cereal with L's. I got the biblical smackdown laid on me by a YouTuber, and it's time to talk about it. This all started yesterday when I made the video, Are React Streamers Bad People? This was a response video to a 14-page document posted by...
Listen, I've heard this about this fellow. Apparently he's very good at like taking a step down and saying I was wrong or something like that. So fair play for that one. But there were definitely some things in DarkViper's video that I think, you know, like just because you... we'll see what he says, but I think there's some points of DarkViper's video that you can definitely take issue with. I don't think you have to take L's across the board, surely. But we'll see.
YouTuber DarkViperAU. And today DarkViper made a response to that video, and it started a war, a bloody battle between good and evil, heaven and hell, reactors versus DarkViper and his community. And I wanted to wait to talk about it further until I could have a conversation directly with him. But I've been getting just a ton of messages from his community, and a lot of it's really nasty, horrible shit, so I figured it'd just be better to get ahead of it and hopefully have that conversation with him later. So I'd like to go through his response and talk about it piece by piece, but before really getting into it, as I mentioned in the beginning, I took a bit of an L plus ratio here. There was a lot of things that I got wrong. I've never been afraid to admit that. I've got like fucking 6 videos over the last 4 years where I just outright say, yep, this is what I got wrong, here's what it was. Almost seems like a humiliation fetish at this point, but of course I get things wrong. Everybody does. And I'm not afraid to admit it or die on a hill that is just outright incorrect. And DarkViper points out things that I got wrong, for sure. But it wasn't this malicious misrepresentation of his document or his perspective that he hints that it might have been. Why would I even do that? As I mentioned, DarkViper is a creator that I liked and respected. What the fuck would I gain from misrepresenting him? Someone that I actively like. It'd make no fucking sense.
MoistCritikal knows that his video is going to reach far more people than will ever actually read that document. So he has free reign to misrepresent what's in it to 99.99999% of people. He didn't even have the courtesy to link the document so people could fact check him.
Again, I wouldn't misrepresent his points on purpose because it's a guy that I liked. And before he made this video, many people misunderstood his points as well. It wasn't just me. You could go on his own subreddit when this was happening and people were like, yeah, this document was very confusing to me as a fan of DarkViper. And as someone who liked him, it was confusing to me as well. And I thought I understood your points, but after watching this, I concede I didn't. Now on to the next point where he says I didn't even have the courtesy to link the document directly in the description. This right here is a lose-lose situation. The only way to win is not to play here, because if I did link it, I would get called an asshole for making it easy for people to go dogpile on him. Like, oh, look at Charlie being such a fucking douchebag to put the link right to the document, right to his tweet, where people could go fuck him up and be mean to him directly. Because I've had shit like that happen in the past where I would talk about something.
No, like, and he didn't. So, Dario was defending it in chat. I don't know. I just, yeah.
not a react video, just a full-blown response video to something, and then there'd be people in the community that would go and just be a complete fucking asshole to that person. Even though I'd actively discourage that behavior, I have no way of controlling it besides just saying, don't do that. And by making easier access, like a link in the description directly to it, I felt it could enable people to just go and harass him, which I never want to happen to anyone. Now, of course, I see the other side of the argument that he's saying, like, if I had directly linked it, people could have fact-checked me on the video without having to go out of their way for it, which, of course, is a good point, but I didn't know what the best way of navigating this was, because by directly linking it, there's a good chance there'd be unreasonable assholes that aren't even there to read the document, they're just there to harass him or get mad at him without anything else going on, just unreasonable assholes. So I thought by just showing where the document is, letting people see where they can find the document if they want to fact check it themselves, would be the optimal play, but I can see here that this was not his preference, this was not the right way of approaching it, and now I understand.
He is so keen to poison you against this 14-page, meticulously argued document that he goes to the length of finding tweets out of context. He doesn't show the context. And it's just like, here's what the document's about. It's 14 pages!
I never said that's what the whole document was about. I never made a point even similar to that. I mentioned that there's a section where he compares...
Yes! Push back, soy, push back. I'm glad he's not just... Let me just get another drink. I'm glad that he's not just taking L's across the board. Because, yeah, there's some stuff that DarkViper said that was stupid. Do you know what I mean? I hate this, like, it's 14 pages. Like, don't put it in there. There's, you know, you could have made your whole ass document without that. You know? I don't know. Cringe.
Reactors to someone who would likely commit sexual abuse. And to say that I'm taking things out of context to poison the well is very disingenuous because I didn't take them out of context. I'll show you the whole context right here. One of his fans pointed out their disappointment that he would compare React streamers to someone that would commit sexual abuse, and he argued with this person by saying that their behavior is similar to someone that would sexually abuse someone. And he literally uses that word, even though he says in his video he never said that.
Let's play a game. Let's see how many of these words are actually in this document. Sexual, no. How about abuse? Oh, we got report abuse at the top here. How about criminal? No. How about predator? No, not that either. How about rapist? No. It's almost like Charlie is making shit up and I don't understand why.
So while none of those words are explicitly used in the document, he does allude to them in that section, and when pointed out by a fan that it's kind of fucked up to compare React streaming to something that extreme, he then does outright say that people that live this certain way are the very sort of people that may sexually abuse someone. And just to give full context so no one thinks I'm hiding anything, he does continue to argue with another fan who was also disappointed in this statement, and he defends this by saying it's a hyperbole, it's supposed to be an exaggerated scenario, he's not trying to make them like equal or anything. So at the very best, it's an extremely shitty analogy, and at worst, it's a genuinely disgusting thing to say about someone you just don't like. So I
don't know what this aspect ratio is. It looks like he's viewing it on a tablet the wrong way around or something. It's a bit weird. Hey, Freeze, thanks for the sub. I don't know what this is.
It's pretty clear when you read this Twitter argument, as well as the hints that he drops in that section of his document, that myself and members of his community would easily see this as him trying to compare React.
Because, listen, respect to Charlie, I think that he recognizes he got some stuff wrong. I think he recognizes he got a few points wrong, and that's fine. But I'm glad he's, like, you know, pushing back against some of the stuff that DarkViper said that was wrong.
To sexual abusers, because that's how it comes across.
And what was really annoying is MoistCritikal left that video up. His entire video that I corrected is wrong. As Moist will now admit, but he left it up anyway. 1.3 million people did MoistCritikal give false information to, and he did not give two fucks. Did not take the video down, did not submit a retraction, did not give people actual information. No, he, in the original case, made a 10-minute video rambling about stuff that is completely untrue.
This was a really weird section of his video for me, and in his own words, poisoning of the well and defaming me, trying to make it look like I'm knowingly feeding people false information that's wrong, when that's not the case. You can easily disprove this part by just watching the video he made, reacting to and correcting my video on how much YouTubers make from short-form content. The information I presented wasn't wrong. The information was incomplete.
This crucial detail is missing from Charlie's video here, where he talks about how much YouTubers make on short-form content.
That crucial detail he's talking about is one that he also admits he didn't know about for the longest time either. He has far more experience here, so then learned that a video that is over 30 seconds and not a hashtag short makes significantly more money than a video that's under 30 seconds and not a hashtag short. Something I and many others didn't know, so it was a great video. But that doesn't mean that all the information that precedes it is incorrect and unusable.
Hey JP, how's it going? Yeah, please just listen. I can't be doing with you nonsense today, okay? Yeah, I don't know what that was about. I didn't follow that one, but...
Because all of the information I provided was the earnings of the hashtag shorts, and I did mention that my other content that isn't just hashtag shorts wasn't making much money either. And that's because the majority of the content on that huge Charles channel doesn't exceed 30 seconds. So all of it's in that lower bracket, and I didn't know that there was a distinction from 30 seconds below and 30 seconds above. He did. So that's why his video is even titled an add-on, not Charlie got everything wrong. He even made similar points to the ones I made, where you're not going to make a lot of money on hashtag shorts, and the only real way to make money there is the shorts program, which is garbage and dog shit. He says that same thing, and then says you can make money by making the content a bit longer, which is what I said, but I didn't realize that you didn't have to go to like that 5 or 8 minute mark or whatever. That corrects a misunderstanding I had of how the system works.
That idea that anyone can transform a 6-month work by pausing it every once in a while and going, ha, I think that's funny. Here's an idea for you, a revolutionary concept. How about you watch the video first? And then once you've watched the video, you say, hey, I actually have nothing of interest to add here. I'm not going to make a video out of it. Or you might say, hey, I have something interesting to add. I'm going to take that individual part in the middle where I have something to add and make my own video about it.
That is a pretty revolutionary idea. You mean like the majority of the content I've ever fucking made? You know that I don't just do react shit. You know that. But you still portray me as that to your audience, as someone that has only ever reacted to full videos on stream, and portray me as someone that only sits there and says, ha ha, when you know that's just not the case. Now we can argue on what's transformative and what's not, and that's also going to be an argument that needs to be had with the creator of the video that gets reacted to, because it's their content. You can't tell them what they should feel about it. However, I do fully concede that, sure, you can absolutely say there's no way of transforming a work that makes it wholly original if you're watching it in its entirety. I totally do understand that perspective, and now that DarkViper has explained that perspective in this video, I understand it deeper now than I did from just reading the script. Which is why with this newfound understanding of this perspective...
I mean, yeah, no, of course. Wait.
I will no longer be watching full YouTube videos on stream. I'd rather take suggestions for YouTube videos to watch, but not watch the whole thing on stream. I'd rather watch it, see if it's something I have anything to add to, and then turn it into perhaps a full video response, which is my normal content. Contrary to what DarkViper kind of hints at, I'm not just a React streamer. It's a very small part of what I do. I do a lot of different things, and reacting to content on stream is a very small part of it. So from now on, YouTube nights on my Twitch streams, twitch.tv/MoistCritikal, feel free to stop in and put a few extra inches on your penis. From now on, those are going to look like people giving suggestions, as they always have. And we'll maybe check them out for a little bit to see if it's anything that I can add value to, and if not, we're done. If there is, then we're still done, because it's going to be a video that I will then watch the rest of on my own. If it is something that I can truly add something to and add more to for the content.
I think that like that's probably a pretty reasonable solution, I guess, to some of these issues, is the idea that, like, because, you know, at the end of the day, like, often you don't necessarily need to watch the whole thing. I really like it. Good memes. You don't need to watch the whole thing, I think. I mean, it depends on, if it's like a 2-minute video or something, I don't know. It depends on the circumstances, I guess. But, you know, there's some times where you're watching a video and you're just like, yeah, this isn't really relevant. No, he's somewhat agreeing with this. He's agreeing that, like, you know, there are other ways to react to content where you can still make good content, but you don't have to watch the whole thing. Hey, Heem, how's it going? Thanks, JP. Good to see you a bit more chill. I hope you have a good one. I usually cut off the video once they start bringing up their Patreon names at the end. Yeah. Skip the ads. Listen, skip the ad. Cut off the Patreon bit. Bob's your uncle. Yeah. Fair use. Done. Easy.
In order to branch off and talk more about it without showcasing the entire thing. It's worth noting that all of the React videos on my channel, even the React ones that he fucking hates, they don't show just the full video. They are still just the parts where I am reacting to it, making jokes about it, or talking about it deeper, but I still do understand that that's still a large chunk of the video itself, so it is still pretty close to, like, almost the full runtime in some cases.
When did you start taking L's?
Going forward, I won't just be rolling but Jay Exci really painted the whole picture that put it all, like, in a really good perspective for me.
True.
Now, there's one thing I'd like to quickly tackle, and it's an important thing that I talked about in my video of DarkViper's media share history. On stream, he used to sometimes have his community donate money to play clips from other creators' videos without their consent that DarkViper would react to on stream while playing Grand Theft Auto on the side. He would then take those reaction streams and post them on YouTube, which made money off of it. And to me, that was similar to everything he was criticizing the other React streamers for. However, in the very opening parts of his document, he does lay out the groundwork for his definition of React streaming, what it means to be a reactor, how it all works. And by all of those definitions, the groundwork, that doesn't apply because it's not the full videos that's being shared. It is clips from the videos, still without consent and all of that, but it is still not exactly in the same ballpark. And I realize now that it was a mistake for me to put my own bias here where I believed that it still fit under the React streaming, but since I'm talking about his 14-page document, I needed to play by his definition of React streamers, which I do understand now was a mistake on my part because that does not fit into the same category that he was criticizing, which was defined and laid out in the opening parts of the document. He says that I didn't include this because I wanted to undercut his points, but it's just simply not the case.
Reactors can therefore only ever be the middlemen in these platforms, taking impressions from all other original content creators and giving a small amount back to other people. Reactors do not somehow manifest additional impressions. There is no free lunch in this industry. The impressions they give out are a portion of what they steal from other people.
So this is where the cracks in what I understood start to show, because when reading the script, the ideas that he's explaining here don't convey super well to me and many others at Reddit. It's not just me, even though he's confused on how I ended up at this interpretation, even though this is how most people from what I saw in the comments and in his own subreddit interpreted what he was saying. It was very hard to discern the real meaning before he came in here and provided the context, but this is where things really fell apart in what I understood. What he's actually saying saying is the reactors occupy a lot of the impressions that are not infinite on the platform. And when those reactors are gone, those impressions will eventually make their way back onto the platform in other places now that the React content is gone. Not necessarily to small channels. I went into this document under the impression that the entire pillar of the argument was that without the React content, these smaller channels would be flourishing. All of those impressions that they're occupying in their absence would go to smaller channels specifically.
Okay. I think I've got enough of a vibe of this. Like I say, that altogether there's like probably about 2 hours of like people talking about this. So, you know, if you want to dig into it, by all means do. I just wanted a little flavour of the drama, and I think I've got it. So yeah, it kind of makes sense. It kind of like was more or less what I thought. He'd said some wrong stuff that he's correcting. But also on top of that, there was some specific claims that he... Oh, no, I've said that already. So some claims he made which were wrong, which he's correcting the record on. But then also there were some points he disagreed with where he pushed back. What does Jay Exci say?
Meticulously argued document that he goes to the length of finding tweets out of context. He doesn't show the context. And it's just like...
Right, I guess we should look at the context of those tweets then.
So
I appreciate what you're saying, but insinuating that anyone who makes your definition of reaction content would sexually assault someone given the chance is quite a large leap in logic. I see what you're going for, but the two are actually quite drastically different. Right. Good. Right? Then to which he says, people who live there... He doesn't say, oh, that's not what I meant. He doesn't say... Okay, so this context makes it fucking worse again! This context makes it actively worse. I appreciate what you're saying, but insinuating that anyone who makes your definition of reaction content would sexually assault someone if given the chance is quite a large leap in logic. If I received that message, the first thing I would say in my tweet responding to it is, that is not what I meant. Right? He says, people who live their lives exploiting others, their labor, their careers in their own lust for money and power are the very sort of people who would sexually abuse someone.
Yeah.
How am I supposed... Why would you complain that was taken out of context?
Yes! Oh my god! Fucking hell.
But that made me read the context and realize that it was worse. Why would you do that? Why? I don't...
I'm not sure what Jay's perspective on the DarkViper thing is, but I mean, I'm getting a flavour here. But yeah, I think Jay's video was far better. I mean, I've not seen all of it, admittedly, but like the way it was presented was like far better than. I know DarkViper said it's just a script at this point, but like I'm looking at the words in the script, and you are saying certain things, and I'm guessing what that might look like in a video, maybe, but like yeah, I don't know. I just think that even as a video, I can't. If you're talking about consent to that level and you're making analogies along those lines, like there's just no need for it, At the end of the day, if you want the best video about React content, Jay's video is the one to watch. That it lays out the arguments nicely in a fair way, reasonable way, and there isn't this ridiculous hyperbole that takes away from the point. In fact, what you notice is that with Jay's video, people have to like go into it. People have to go into it explicitly trying to misunderstand the point that's being made in order to complain about it, really. Because Jay's video is pretty watertight, I'd say. But yeah, Jay's recently started streaming on Twitch as well, which is pretty cool. It's actually really nice to see a lot of these kind of YouTubers come across to Twitch. So especially some of the drama YouTubers. Like, Nicholas, for example. I think it's nice to see some new flavour come into the space that isn't just, like, cringe. It's happening. Xanderhall's dream is happening. The drama and politics spaces are colliding. Anyway, I'm kind of done with this, I think. I think we've done some good coverage of this. I think we got a good highlight of what's going on. As always, Hasan is being a big baby about being criticised when it's not even uniquely about him, per se.
Based.
Thank you very much for the bits, Captain Gwendolyn. Appreciate it. Based indeed. DarkViper seems a bit unhinged. Makes some all right points, but just kind of goes off at the deep end with the hyperbole, which damages his position, I think. MoistCritikal seems to be...
Big baby Hasan.
Thank you for the bits again. MoistCritikal seems pretty level-headed about it all. You know, making some salient points also and taking L's where necessary, which is always respectable. And then there's everyone else. And then there's the little rat eating the scraps. That's me. Yeah, I don't know. I think that there's probably like I think this could be a watershed moment.
Chud, did you see the 2 types of British men meme in your Discord? Which one are you? The beer belly football bloke? Or a femboy?
I'm probably closer to the beer belly football bloke than a femboy. But yeah, I think my position is like they're probably like if you want to disagree with something, like I guess it's like okay, but like how do you go about that? What if you really hate the person? Like how do you go about making that piece of content? And do you ask them or do you not ask them? I think if you're going to like intently disagree with a piece of media, you know, from like a political angle, kind of gives it a different context. But yeah, if I think the clear thing here that I think is unarguable is the idea that if you're just sat there literally watching someone else's content without saying anything, or even worse, you're walking away and letting that content entertain your stream because you want to go and make something to eat, that's really bad and you don't need to do it. And I think that you can just have like a be right back screen or something like that. I think that especially if you're like a really big streamer, there's more you can do to get permission to view certain things and you won't run into these problems. Yeah, and I think all of us can improve kind of what we're doing to make it so we're not just like scraping views. Off of other people. I don't think a political angle ever requires permission. Your reaction across the board to anyone else's content should be significant and transform the segment into something beyond laughing along or oohing and ahhing. Yeah, I do think there's something in that, if not from like a legal perspective, because I don't know if under a legal perspective that would fly. But from like an ethical perspective, yeah, I don't know. Something to think about, I guess, but I think it's okay. But legally, probably not. But yeah, I think ethically it's fine. I mean, one interesting thing to look at here is like presidential debates, because I think legally speaking, some of the presidential debates were pretty heavily licensed to certain broadcasters, and there were people that were getting DMCA takedowns for watching it on stream. So like legally, I think it's like probably wrong to do, but ethically, I think it's completely legitimate to watch something of such a political magnitude. Well, obviously, some people would disagree that it has a high political magnitude. It's just kabuki theatre, but like something that is like a meaningful political event, at the very least, and like watching that, I think that you've got the right to do it, even if not legally the right. I think that that's fair enough. And I think in most circumstances when it's like a political video that you want to disagree with or debunk. Yeah. I think there were a few other takes which I thought were quite interesting. CoffeeZilla had a good one. So CoffeeZilla was critical of DarkViper. That's the joke I made, yeah. DarkViperAU, big time Destiny fan. I mean, he went straight into the rape analogy. He seems like a sort of debate nerd from what he was saying. He was doing the whole, that is a fallacy. I'm never, I don't know. I tried to be as generous as I can to it. He just seems like kind of a cringe lord. In my opinion, this take about reactors oversimplifies a complicated issue. Oh, hey, Supreme. Yeah, I heard about this. I think I'm more or less along the same lines with you. What about, like, political disagreement, though? Do you need to get permission if you want to, like, push back on a video that you think's got bad ideas in? In my opinion, this take about reactors oversimplifies a complicated issue. I agree that full watch reactions are probably breaking copyright law. Oh, yeah, okay, let me just read this and I'll pull you in. But I disagree that a reactor is only stealing when they react. They often add huge amounts of viewership and important eyeballs. For example, I recently did a piece of original content. Anyway, this is the point here. Full react should be banned. Fair use gets blurry when you take an entire video and watch it. Steals from the market value of the work. I can't react to an Avengers movie in its entirety for good reason. There should be options to revenue split between creators and OG content creators. What's the cut? Depends on the amount of video used. Makes no sense when 100% of the revenue to the OG creator for only 5% was reacted to. But again, like, I feel like a lot of this discourse is literally just for, like, content that you kind of somewhat agree with or something like that. I think if we're talking political videos or something, it's different. I don't know. Anyway, let's see what Supreme's got to say, because Supreme apparently has got some takes on this. Hop in the green room, my good man, and I'll pull you in. Oh, you're not joining voice? Okay, no worries. Okay, if you can't join, that's cool. I think there's some other people that some takes as well. I think that, like, you know, broadly speaking, it's kind of like, you know, people are somewhat okay with it, but like, it's about, you know, like clearly here, CoffeeZilla doesn't like the idea of full reacts. I've done it before. I've fully reacted to content, and it does feel a bit, especially when you don't say anything, it's a bit cringe. But yeah. Anyway, we are going to get to the debate bro drama. Now we've covered this. But that person that made that Dr. K video is going to hop on, and we're probably going to have a chat about Dr. K for a bit.